The construction business? Oh, wow. So you're a craft worker.
Oh, no, I am.
Well, you all must have been poor.
Excuse me?
Both my husband, Keith, and I were just absolutely mortified and speechless at what my mother-in-law had just said. Since that moment on, the lively mood, which everyone was enjoying, suddenly got silent. My name is Melissa. I'm 28 years old, and I work in an office. My husband, Keith, and I have been together for a year now, and we're planning to get married. And today is the day we are going to husband's parents. I had been nervous all morning before meeting Keith's parents for the first time.
I wonder if I'll be able to greet properly.
Oh, don't worry too much. It'll be old at soon. My parents are not the kind of people who should even be that nervous about.
But I'm not sure if it's a good idea to use this method.
I'm not too sure if Keith loved his lot, but because of that, he hardly much about his own parents, which is why I'm extra nervous because literally know nothing about Keith. And I also remember Keith saying that my mom might say something a little sarcastic or off sometimes, but it was just her way of being funny, and she'd always be there for me. And remembering what he had said, all mother, my heart, beat faster and fast approach to Keith's parents' house. And finally, Keith and I arrived at his parents' house. Once we rang their doorbell, both my father-in-law, Jonathan, and
Emilia came out to the porch to greet us.
Oh, welcome. Thank you both for coming. It's great to see you both.
Come on then, do come in.
oh, they're actually really sweet at us. Both Amelia and Jonathan greeted us with smiles, which eased my tension a little. And we were led to the living room where we sat down.
Here you go. We brought some sweets.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. To make some coffee so that we can sit together.
Oh, please, let me help you.
Oh, it's okay, Melissa. You're our guest, so please sit down.
Oh, thank you very much.
It must have been a long trip for Bo to come all the way from Texas.
Oh my goodness. Did you drive all the way here in the car? Well, you young people are so energetic.
We drove all the way so that we could do some sightseeing on the way back. Ah, I see.
Like that, I can have a normal, natural conversation. With Jonathan and Emmett, here's no awkward tension to it. Nothing like what Keith had said had happened as of now. So I felt really nervous and prepared for nothing. Then I heard the front door unlock.
I'm home. Oh, Keith, welcome back home.
Oh, it's been a while, Seb.
Come to think of it, my brother-in-law Sebastian and his wife Clara were also there with Jonathan and Amelia. I greeted Sebastian as he came in, Clara, who was right behind him.
Oh, hello, nice to meet you.
I never thought that my little brother would marry such a nice, wonderful person like you.
My first impression of Sebastian, that he was very cheerful and that nice, kind person. But compared to Sebastian, Clara, or others, she was quiet and polite, greeting me very quickly. And then, the next moment, Amelia G. glared to Clara and said in a very, "Oh, Clara, can you make us another?"
I will go make it now.
My goodness, having an inconsiderate wife like her is such a hassle.
Amelia smiled at us as she said that. Oh, now I see. Maybe this is what my friend was talking about. Amelia would blatantly change her at depending on that person. And Amelia would have a terrible attitude towards those who are in a much weaker position than she is. And right now, Claire's her target, not surprised if she turns on me at any moment. My husband also has an awkward expression on his face when he sees Amelia's horror towards Clara. After finishing the coffee and sweet husband said, "All right, let's get going." He tried to leave. Then Amelia would say, "Oh my! Are you leaving already? Why don't you just stay for dinner with us?" And to this, my husband would reply, "Thank you, but we have an early start tomorrow." "That's okay. We have a restaurant stop by on our way back to the hotel." In the car on the way back to our hotel, my husband looked really uncomfortable.
I know. It was really off-putting.
Oh, you mean about your mother's toward Clara?
Yeah. Mom has always been the type to be unsatisfied unless she gets her way. And at the moment she's targeting C, Clara hasn't done anything wrong but I'll make sure that you, Melissa, become my mom's target in the future.
Since Keith said so, I was relieved time being. After that, we took our time and went to our parents' houses and finished getting ready before we got married. My parents liked my husband a lot, immediately got very close to each. Keith also seemed to like my parent away. And then we started to prepare for our wedding bit by bit. Then we held a huge dinner party so our families could meet each other was where it all went wrong. The dinner was held in a private nice restaurant in California. Both of our parents greeted each other, took their seats. At first, everyone was distracted by delicious food that was brought to, but as the conversation proceeded, gradually, Amelia became rude.
I didn't get a chance to ask you before, but does Melissa's family Texas or live in California?
Keith's parents live in California. Jonathan and Amelia are born and bred in California. I also moved to Texas for college or to work at a company. After graduating from college, and that is where I met my husband.
No, we're from Montana.
Yes, like what my dad answered now. My family is from Montana, and both my parents were born and raised in Montana.
The Montana.
Yes. Is there something wrong with...
Then Amelia sighed a little and said she was just surprised. Something was wrong with Amelia's, She wasn't being very friendly towards the parents compared to when we went to greet her. Then Amelia says this, "Well, my mom in Montana is just having very cold weather during winter, and I don't get to see her as often as I would like." Hearing this, both my parents and I speechless.
Are people properly keeping up with modern civilization over there in Mech? Oh, I wonder if they have smartphones there. Or perhaps people in Montana only style phones?
Perhaps it was the alcohol in her system that wouldn't let her stop slandering such things.
Hey, Mom, what are you talking about? It's not like you've even been to McDonald's before, so don't say such things.
But this is important, isn't it? It would be a big problem if your partner doesn't have a peer education or something similar. Besides, I just don't like the cold. Never thought that it would be a place I would go to. So that's why I don't want to move to Montana.
Even though Dad was witnessing Emily's terrible attitude, he replied,
Well, we certainly do use smartphone. Besides, we've all gotten used to the cold in winter. Because we've been living here for a long time now.
Anyway, what kind of work do you do?
Dad was being so polite, but how could she be rude like that?
I am in the construction business.
Oh, wow. So you're a craft worker.
Oh, no, I am not a robot.
Well, you all must have been very...
Both my husband, Keith, and I were just absolutely mortified and speechless at what my mother-in-law had just said. Dad is doing well in his construction business, and Mom is a teacher, and they're both leading fulfilling lives together. But Amelia misunderstood that my pair poor, and assuming that they were in a lower position than her, and started making terrible things to them.
Mom, what are you even talking about, eh? That's enough. I'm terribly sorry about this, Henry Sarah.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's not something you should apologize for, Keith.
Yes, that's right, Keith. Why are you the one apologizing?
Well, it's all your fault. Amelia should be the one to apologize, was had in my mind.
There now. Well, now that we've been introduced, let's just call it a day.
Jonathan, unable to speak due to his strictness with Amelia, ended the dinner. The lively dinner party that everyone was enjoying was ruined by Emily. After my husband sent Amelia and Jor home first, he came to us and apologized over and over again.
No, it's not at all your fault, Keith. But I don't know if I can let my daughter marry into a family with a mother-in-law like that.
Well, about that, may I suggest something?
What my husband said after that surprised me, as well as my parents, and even I. After that, my husband contacted Jor to ask him about Amelia's attitude. Then we found out something very interesting. Sebastian and Clara had divorced, and Clara had left Amelia and Jonathan's house. And now it all made sense to me. So, in other words, now that Amelia had a target to bully, she was probably thinking of targeting me this time. But to pick on me even before Keith married was too naive of Amelia. I wonder if she didn't think about that, I could avoid that situation. And a few months later, Keith and I held our wedding. Then that morning, my husband received a phone call from Amelia. My husband answered the phone as that it's such a hassle to talk to.
Hello?
Hey, I didn't hear that you and Mel having your wedding ceremony today. I felt really embarrassed just a few minutes ago when my neighbor asked me why I wasn't at your wedding, you know.
Oh yeah, because I didn't invite you, so it's obvious that would happen.
Excuse me? Do you have a map of the city? What is the meaning of this?
I'm just so sick and tired of you. I'm going to be taken in by Melissa, and I'm cutting family ties with you good.
Whoa, what are you talking about? I am not allowing you to do that. Where are you right now? We'll be at your wedding, so just tell us where you are.
No, it's impossible. Because our wedding is held in month, it's where you don't even want to go wrong.
What?
Anyway, we're not family anymore and don't contact us anymore.
My husband said that and hung up the headat. Yes, this was the shocking idea which my husband suggested. To me and my parents at our dinner party junior, both my dad and mom were so moved by my husband's genuine enthusiasm that he wanted to marry me that badly, and that they burst into tears and encouraged us to get married. Tell him to take care of our peer daughter. When my husband ended the call, I now received a call from Amelia. Since Thad few things to say, answer the phone. As soon as I picked up the phone, Amelia started to yell at me over the phone.
What are you doing? Brainwashing my that? Give me back my son.
With all due respect, Amelia, you should realize that this has happened because of you.
Excuse me? Why should my precious son be taken poor family in the first place?
You really don't listen, do you? You only assumed and accused my dad poor before he even finished talking.
What is your favorite thing about being a writer?
My father is in the construction business, not as a craftsman, but as a businessman.
What is the best way to get rid of a cold sore?
I don't really like to talk about my achievements as if I'm bragging about them, but my family owns a well-known company called Montana. Thanks to my family's efforts, our sales have been steadily increasing year after year. We recently surpassed 5 million in sales.
What is the best way to get rid of a cold sore? Why didn't you tell me that? If I had known that then, I would have taken proper steps to become Keith's wife.
Didn't you even realize that your own son was appalled by that kind of attitude you have where it changes based on someone's status? Anyway, the wedding is about to begin. That's all I have to say.
Oh, wait!
We then had a happy wedding in our home. By the way, Sebastian, who I invited to the ceremony, was so impressed with Mont, where he came for the first time, and Keith was so determined to be cut off from. Sebastian also decided to change his. Sebastian went back to Clara, got down on his knees, and apologized, saying, "I didn't realize how much your parents were suffering until now." He proposed to her that they would cut ties with their respective families and move in together. Clara agreed to this, and now they moved to Montana and lived close to others. Keith also feels reassured and a little comfortable that his own big brother the same area. And as for Amelia and Jonathan, Amelia cut off from them, saying that it was hard, and to that, Jonathan, who ran out. In the end, Amelia lost everything: her home, her savings, her retirement fund, and is now forced to live a life of poverty on a low-paying job and a meager pension. Well, she deserved it, so I have no for her whatsoever. Keith, on the other hand, has joined a company and will eventually become its CEO. He is desperately trying to learn high, but he is very excited about being challenged and learning new things every day. I am so proud of Keith. We will continue to get along, well-married couple, support each other, our lives together. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you at our next video conference.